Now, what I'm going to say today is not a mythical parable, but what actually happened. I'm going to talk first about my prior beliefs about interpersonal communication and what changed my mind and where I am today. So in response, at that time, I had been teaching at the undergraduate and graduate level for 15 years. I'd been in Toastmasters for 4 years. I was a competent communicator. I didn't need no stinking communications. And as the man of the house, I put my foot down. I said, I am not going to this seminar. So when we showed up to the seminar, I realized that there were a few things that I needed to adjust in my thinking. Well, first, let me explain where I was coming from. I've always been attracted to math. I've always been good at math. What do I love about math? It's precise. I love its logic. I love its truth. If you have a certain set of assumptions and imply impeccable logic, you come to a truth, a hard and fast truth that nobody can dispute. So naturally, I was drawn to an academic profession. And of course, I applied the same principle of logic to all of my interpersonal communications, especially with my wife. So whenever we had a disagreement, I would explain with irrefutable logic why my position was the right one. Now you can imagine how well that worked. So when we showed up to this interpersonal communication, I found that I had to change my mind. What changed my mind? Ironically, logic. In this communication seminar, I learned a different way of communicating, especially with regards to listening to things that I may not have agreed with. And I was very skeptical. I didn't think this stood a shot. But my logic dictated that I should give it a fair shot. And what I learned in that seminar helped all of the interactions that I had, not just with my wife, but in every single one, including in the classroom. I learned that what I had been doing, my logical and rational approach to interpersonal communication, simply was not working. And so logic dictates that if something isn't working, try something else. You've all heard the definition of insanity, doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results. In order to have different results, I had to change my mind. And so I did. Where I am today, I was so fascinated with this new approach to interpersonal communication that defied my prior rational logic brain, and yet was so effective in all of my interactions that I made it a personal goal to master this new set of skills. I found it very difficult at first. It was so uncomfortable. It was so different than the way that I had previously been interacting. But I went to every seminar that Selwa gave that I could. It didn't come naturally, but after much work and much studying and much practice, I came to have a certain degree of facility with that. And so today, I'm giving seminars of the same kind of the one that I took. And in fact, I just finished a first draft of a book that I'm writing with a co-author, Lee Garland, on this very subject. And so in conclusion, I questioned a strongly held belief I had about the way that I was interacting, the way that I was communicating. I took that belief, and because of what I learned, I changed my mind, and that changed my life. What beliefs do you have that could be questioned, that could change your life for the better? Can you change your mind? Mr. Toastmaster.